And it is now 11. Hello, everyone. As you're coming in, get myself set up here. I forgot. I went upstairs to get, a nice shirt on and then realized that I left my phone up there. Interesting start. Very interesting start to the night. So, the notice should be going out now that I am live. And all right, why are you not letting me in? Let me into my Tosh account, please. There we go. Sometimes when you run CCleaner and clean all the junk stuff out of your computer, then I go back and it didn't, it's logged me out of everything. So let's get me into my channel and into my own live so that I can see the chat better. Because these glasses be old. What is that? No, that's not what I wanted. I don't need fan funding. What are you doing? Live chat. There's what I want. There we go. And we have 6. One of them is probably me. So hello, everyone. If you have been watching my channel, you know that I have all this craft stuff. Tons and tons of it. Not just my own stuff, my mother's stuff. Friends of hers who would pass away, the family would give her all their sewing stuff. Stuff from my grandmother, stuff from my great-grandmother. There's a lot. There is a lot. So tonight we are gonna start in on some of that fabric and some other craft supply items. Let me get my little pocket knife out of the way. Where's my pen? Been that kind of evening, okay? Been a good day, but been that kind of evening. I don't want that pen because these gel pens go right through the paper. And let me tell you, with the yardage and everything that I've got tonight, I have... Do I still need this? No, that's the names of the Pokemon stickers that I have in my eBay store. I had to look some of them up because I didn't know what they were. Hello, Bonnie. Good to see you tonight as well. So we are gonna have some fun with stuff tonight. Some of this stuff, if you saw the work with me I did, we found yardage. We didn't just find a couple of fat quarters or 1 yard pieces. Some things we found yardage. And actually, I have them in my pocket. 2 things had notes on them. The heart flannel, it's white with a really pretty little thing with a little heart in the design. 8 yards, nightgowns for Kimba, Becky, Nancy. Yeah. Can I tell you, I switched to pajamas probably by the time I was 30. And I'm 57 for another month, give or take 2 weeks. And Kim has her son has started kindergarten, I think, this year. And Becky's been married for, I don't know, I think like 11 or 12 years now. So I think that note's kind of old. But apparently there was some other cut flannel for me and for Becky that was 5.5 yards. The pink paisley was 5 yards. The snowflakes says it was 3 yards. Yeah. And then there was another note on this burgundy fabric that has dolls all over it. 4 yards, dress for one of girls or dress dolls in. Because yes, my mother would have thought that was really funny to make clothing for dolls out of fabric that had dolls on it. She would have thought that was hilarious. Julie! I know, I haven't seen you in a while. How are you? I'm doing better than I have felt in 2.5, it's September now, and I had fallen in April of 2021. So it's been, 2.5 years? But look what I can do. I can turn around and look behind me. I couldn't do that for 2 solid years. I don't know what gave, but something on the left side, either the pinched nerve finally let go that last little bit, or some of the damage to it when it was pinched in my spine finally healed. I don't know what, but something happened and I turned around suddenly and realized I could turn around and look behind me and twist. I can't do it to my right. That nerve is still very definitely pinched, but it was great. Well, thank you. I'm trying to make an effort. I used to, remember in the early days, I used to get dressed up. I'd wear makeup. I'd have jewelry on and have my live sales and look nice. And it was a nice treat because I was pulling out the clothes that I hadn't worn since I worked at the art museum. But then I got hurt and you saw me in a lot of t-shirts only because pinched nerve in the spine meant a lot of mobility issues. And I was not about to have to ask my 28-year-old kid to dress me. That wasn't going to happen. So t-shirts it was. Hello, Sherry. Oh my goodness. So I'm actually quite happy to be back to wear some of my jewelry and the nice shirts, and it's also not so stinking hot today. This side of the house is the south side, and there's no air conditioner in any windows. There's no room to get to a window in this living room. And quite frankly, where is there a plug? I guess that's the only window, because years ago there was this monstrous heavy because nowadays, like, air conditioners are a lot of plastic, but back then, I mean, even the casing was all metal. And I think that heavy monster might be still out on the side porch, the enclosed side porch. That's going to be a nice chunk of change for scrap metal. But but that I remember us having when I was in high school. And we finally had one in the kitchen and one down here. And then Mom would put a box fan at that end of the house, at that end of the living room, because there's 2 doorways in the living room, and she would have it circulate the air through the house. Because between the two, if you had the ceiling fan on in the kitchen, because our first floor is a figure 8, there's a central hallway, but the living room is on one side, makes this big C, and then the other side is the dining room, and then the dining room into the kitchen, which there's a doorway right there. So it makes this nice kind of figure 8. So if you do it right and have a box fan, we used to be able to heat the first floor in the fall with the fireplace in here, and by having the ceiling fan on in the kitchen and a box fan here at the back of the living room. And then, but in the reverse with the air conditioner, we had to put it up at the other end to try to get the air flowing around. It would take a while. I can't imagine what the electric bill must have been. Now things are so much better on the electric. So Mona has come in. Hello. Steph is here. Kathy's here. Sherry's here. I love this. I've seen some old friends tonight. I hope you guys are all doing well. Oh. So this is going to be a trial run on fabric. I do know this much. I don't want to sell fabric by the yardage anymore until I have my dining room table back, because measuring this stuff without having that table to just flip it out on did not make my back happy at all. Did not make my shoulders happy at all. I spent 6 years measuring fabric at Joann Fabrics. Well, I've been measuring fabric for my seamstress mother since I was 10. So when they do the interview, they go in, and if they think you're a good candidate, then they take you out on the sales floor. They hand you a piece of fabric and a pair of scissors and says, well, I want you to cut a straight line, but I need you. And she got that far, and I already had the fabric, just flicked it, laid it out, boom, straight line right on up. I didn't use their stupid metal guide either. I just went right on up. And she just stopped mid-sentence and went, where'd you learn how to do that? From doing it for my mom for the last, I think at that point, the last 15 years. And so, yeah, I got hired on the spot. She's like, when can you start? It was great. But my mother had lots of plans for fabric. But the older she got, the less she did. The house got filled up with all that deferred decisions of plans to make things and then didn't, which is a shame. So, because there's a lot, which is why I have notes saying, make nightgowns for the 3 girls. And I was one of the girls at that point. So, where's my notebook? I've never had a live sale where I've had to fill in 4 pages to make sure I had space to write stuff down. Actually, I don't know if we're going to do these tonight. Stay put. Put them there. I just took my allergy medicine, so my nose is itchy. So, oy, oy, oy. Cats are currently in the basement just because there's a box on this side. This monster. You're only seeing the top half of the box. That is all fabric yardage, and it's bloody heavy. And I had to carry it out here from the kitchen. My pin just moved. There we go. But oh my goodness, it was heavy. I should have gotten Mike to move it for me, but he's gone to bed already because he has to work tomorrow and go up to the office, which is like a 45-minute hours drive, and be out all over the place tomorrow. So actually, he's got to go out. First thing he's got to do is he's getting a crown put in. So have fun, kid. So if you have not been here in a long while and you purchased from me, just for safety's sake, send me an email with your, there's Warren, hello, with your name, your address, and your email, and your YouTube name. It's all the usual stuff for a live sale. Because I invoice through PayPal, I use Pirate Ship, and I ship from, I am in Chester, PA, so I am south of Philadelphia along the Delaware River. So I'm on the high ground, though. I'm nowhere near the river. We were just talking about that tonight in the car. How much high ground is good to be on if the ice caps melt? I think we're okay where we're at. Most of Chester and most of Philly, not so much. You have to email me all that. If you're new, you have to, of course, email me all that. But I use Pirate Ship to try to keep the shipping costs down. The next 2 weekends are free weekends for me, no Scout stuff. With Scouts having started and me as head of advancement, man, it was crazy getting us started. We have, let's see, Tony, Barry, Lisa, Matt. So we have 4 newer assistant scoutmasters who were still getting their legs under them. And that leaves me, John, and Tom, who's usually always there. That's not that many. Mike is there when he can be, because his job, there are some Wednesdays he won't be able to be there. So we're down by we're down to like having 7 active scoutmasters, which for the amount of kids we have, especially considering that most of the troops 13 and under, that's not enough. The younger the kids, the more adults you need. And a lot of them, most of the kids are below first class, which means there's a lot of little requirements. And we're trying to get a bunch of them up to where they need to be before the second week of October, because that border reviews are done by then, and then they won't be able to advance again until spring. So we're pushing hard, and it's meant a lot of work for me. I don't usually handle the younger ones, but that's what all the 4 brand new assistant scoutmasters are doing. And I'm always getting emails and phone calls with questions because they're not sure how it all works yet. So it's been very busy now that Scouts has started, and I'm still helping a friend's mother get her house emptied. And I'm still trying to empty my own. So, what else did I need to tell you? So we know I'll do the shipping with Pirate Ship, keep the cost down. Some of the stuff we have is, it'll probably be towards the end, but I have some that's yardage so that you don't have to buy a full 5-yard piece if you don't want a 5-yard piece. I have no problem with cutting it down to a 1/4 yard or a 1/2 yard or a yard. But there are some that's it. The piece is the piece. I'm not really, I don't really want to have to cut a 1/2 yard into anything smaller. So a 1/2 yard's going to be a 1/2 yard. So let's get started. Now, one of the things we found, and I think because Mom thought we were going to like applique a bunch of stuff. There's Nora. So there's a bunch of, because I mean, she had stuff for doing stencils and those foamy rubber stamps so that you could use fabric paint on things. And so you're going to fall over on me, aren't you? You're not going to knock my numbers over. I'm really going to need them tonight. So we found, when we did the clean out, a bunch of t-shirts. Some were kid sizes and some were adults. Now, what's what here? Okay, so adult t-shirts. I have some of them. I only have one, and I'm going to sell them for $3 each. So if any, and like I said, they're just standard tee. You can tell they're older because they're that single stitch. See, nowadays they run 2 stitches down here, and they always tell you to look for the vintage t-shirts in Goodwill so that you can resell like the old concert shirts and stuff. And they'll only have 1 row of stitching on the sleeve. So these are some of the 90s, at the very least. They've still got their tag. So if you can do crafting, now this is the biggest one. This is a 3X. If you want to do tie-dyeing or anything else with them, there's only one 3X. It's $3. If you would like this one, the 3X. Okay, so the 3X is letter A. Okay. Then the next ones are, there's not really enough space here. It's going to be fun doing this one. So now I have a blue extra large. I only have one of those. So it's $3, remember, brand new all cotton t-shirt by, what they made? Oh, it's a 50-50 blend, so it's not all cotton. From the company Jerseys. I'm not sure they're around anymore. But this is a nice blue one. This is an extra large, $3, and this is letter L. Now there's two, and these aren't pure white. Your camera's not fooling you. I have not seen Fiona at all lately. However, Fiona sent me a buy me a coffee. Yes, these are single stitch, Julie. These are single stitch on the sleeves. So these are older ones. And they are an off-white. They are not pure white. They're slightly cream. They look like a slightly creamy color, but they are not pure white. There are two extra large in that. If you want one or both of them, of the extra large, letter X. And I figured I would do these first because anybody then can see it later and can let me know what they want. Okay, now here's the large. In the large, I have one in the blue and one in the white, off-white. So for the large, letter T. What the heck was that? My phone just went black and did that little buffering thing. Don't do that. Oh, I froze. You bugger. You're going to make me lag. Let's see. Playback speed to 1.25. And see and make sure that backs it up. Now, I do have a couple child sizes. There's one blue and one gray, light gray, of child size medium. And they're going to be letter G. And then you can let me know if you want the blue or the gray. Remember, just $3 each. And then I have two child size large in the blue and in the gray. Still have the original tags. Poly cotton blend made by Jerseys. So child large, blue, gray, and that would be letter C. Letter C for those. All right. I will warn everybody now who's watching this on the playback. By the time we get done this, I may be too worn out to do a speed round. And I don't know that I'm going to do a speed round on these. Just because I need the bag out of my way, and now it's kind of out of my reach. So, let's start. Oh, let's start with this box. Oi. I'm so glad I had my shots on Wednesday for my spine. Oh. Oh. Uh-oh. Where is that? Did I bury it? I may have buried it. All right, wait a second here. You. And you. And you. And then you guys. Did I bury it? Oh, no, I did bury it. Come here, you. All right. So, let's work on some of the Get my numbers here. He wears an adult medium. Yeah, and I didn't actually have any adult mediums. I just had large, extra large, and a 3X. Which I swim in a 3X. And a large is a little too tight over the girls. So, get my numbers here. So the first thing I have is I honestly did not have a clue what to start this at. So I decided I was just going to make it an offer up. Let's see. Whoops. Okay, try that again. There we go. So we're going to start this at 4. So this one it's all like moisturizing glycerin soap. When Michael was little, this was a way that he was able to like actually make Christmas presents for everybody. But I have leftover stuff of that, and it's soap. It doesn't go bad. So this one is still the original package, and I don't know. Let's see if you can see. One is a heart, and it has a swirl on one side because there's a line that goes here and then comes up and then swirls around on this. I'm trying to do this in reverse here. And then the star is the same thing. There's a swirl. There you can just see it. There's a swirl there. And then that color behind it is the soap. And it's really easy to do because it has all the instructions on the back. So you basically you melt the soap, and they tell you how you can do it in a microwave. You're basically just putting it on high for like 15 seconds. You want it just enough to melt it. You can do it on the stove too, but you really need to watch that. I've done it on the stove, but I've done it as a double boiler. Like I've taken a pan with hot water and then put a metal bowl in and then stirred the stuff in the metal bowl. One time we did it in a metal cup because I had found one at the thrift store. So you get that full kit with those molds in there. But I also have a bag of Soap Expressions, which says it's raspberry red. But what it has is this white dot, which is a lotion stuff in there that's a moisturizer. So it looks like it's polka dotted, but that's meant to be in there. So you get this as well. So you can make even more little stars and hearts. And I've got another one that is denim blue. And you can see denim blue. And these are already cut into little cubes, so it makes it easier to put them in the molds. Now, what I've done is with Mike, we've actually layered them. We've actually taken 2 different colors because these are kind of deep. And we've actually done it where we've actually been able to put, like, if it had a pattern, you could put some down in first of another color, throw it in the refrigerator so that sets, and then put another color in behind it and then let the whole thing cool off. And they really do pop out of here really pretty easily out of the plastic mold. So you get plenty. Like this is supposed to make 6 fun little soaps, but with this amount extra, you'll probably be able to make way more than that. Does this say how many? I mean, each of these is 10 ounces. So this only includes 5 ounces, and that's supposed to be 6 things of soap. And this has 10 ounces in each one. So you're easily going to be able to make 30, 35 little gifty things of soap. And if you want to scent them, you can. You just put a little drop of any kind of what do they call them? Aromatherapy, the oils, the scented oils. You just put one little drop in and mix it in, and that'll be your thing. So so the start was $4 for that. Like I said, I didn't know what to, I didn't know if that would go or not, but I thought I found it. I was going to try. And if not, I can throw, yes, essential oils. I can throw it into the woefully empty Etsy store. Now, this is a piece of white eyelet. Now, it has the typical eyelet pattern on the bottom. And then as you go up, it gets less and less. So it's like there's just little tiny leaves about every, 4.5, maybe 5 inches. And then here. So this piece is, there we go. So you have, come on, let me show them. So you have the straight, this is going to be a challenge back here. So that side is the straight side, and then you have that. So the piece itself is 42 inches wide. When you open it up, it's 42 inches wide. Now the length of the piece is 1 yard and 3 inches. So now this does not feel to me like it's 100% cotton. It feels like it's a cotton poly blend. It is very lightweight because this is the kind that was always good for making like petticoat things, or like a little shift for underdress for the granddaughters. That's what she would do with them, or for costumes. So this one is, whoops. For 1 yard of the eyelet piece, this one is $3 and is number 28. $3, number 28 for the 1 yard and 3 inches of eyelet. Somewhere in this house, there are bolts of eyelet, like the heavier weight stuff. Not exactly sure where, but I know it's here. I know there's bolts of trims too from back when my aunt used to work in the mills, the sewing mills that were up in northern PA. Let's see. We have 2 kits. This is a dimensions counted cross stitch called Domestic Life, and it shows those enameled stoves that, honestly, what is with people like rewiring these suckers, making them electric? And I've cooked on one of these. I don't like them. I guess the thing is you have 2 ovens then. It says, to cope with her domestic life, the working woman needs a wife. Now, where the price sticker, I guess, had been, that's missing the plastic right there. But it's an unopened kit. The Domestic Life. It is you know what? I know what I'm going to put it online if it doesn't sell tonight, but I'm going to lower it for you guys. It is $4. It's $4, number 78. $4, number 78. Now, the other one is a crewel work kit put out by Sunset. It's a Jiffy crewel work. When life gives you scraps, make quilts. And it says it's the Quilters motto. Now, with this one, only really like this part and the outline, some of the outline is regular stitch. this is crewel work, but if you look, you can see that there's no counting involved, no counting of the cross stitch, because the picture itself is printed on the fabric, but you're going to cover it with all that crewel work, which is basically they do it in yarn, and it's almost like a long satin stitch. And this one is $4 for the Quilters motto, and is number 20. $4, number 20. Now, these guys are in trouble. These are going to be an offer up because I looked up the prices on. Oh, you know what? I never put past. Oh, Kitty. Hi, Kitty. Kitty wants the crewel work kit. Come here, you. Kitty, Mr. Hedgehog. I love hedgehogs. Okay, so Kitty. Kitty, Mr. Hedgehog. So let me take number 20 out of there, and we'll sit you up there. Now, this, thank you, Kitty. This is for Alma Lynn porcelain buttons. Now, her stuff, the prices are all over the place because different people collect different things. And these are from 1987. They've never been off the card. You get two of the same. What I couldn't quite figure out is what is the bottom one? At first I thought it was a can of cat food, but it just says cat on it. You can see that's the bottom one, and then that's the cat with a scarf. I think that's cute with the scarf. So you get 4 buttons, brand new on there. Basically, in my house, it's new old stock. But they are in great shape. They have the copyright on the back for Westwater Enterprise, which, as near as I could tell, is the only place that ever put out her buttons. And she only ever put out porcelain designs, porcelain buttons. 1997, there's a copyright for both Westwater Enterprises and Button Designs, 1997, Alma Lynn Designs, Incorporated. Or no, Alma Lynn Designs, gotta get new glasses, for Westwater Enterprises. Okay, and if there's no one for them, we can pass. Hello, Marcy. Okay. Paperbilities. I probably bought this at some point thinking I was going to do something with it. I probably bought it because of the cat on the bottom. I'll show you what I mean. So, Paperbilities, these are from made in High Point, North Carolina. Cool. The sheet is 18.5 by 20. It's one sheet. This has never been opened up, so none of it's missing. I'm looking for a date, but I'm not finding one. Considering everything else was from the 90s, this is probably from then too. Paperbilities is patterned and dimensional papers for paper art, for either decoupage, or at that point it would have been for scrapbooking. Now you've got junk journaling. But look at these patterns. They're really cute. Except, okay, what's wrong with his eyes? Look at his eyes. They're X's. Why would you do that? How many of us grew up with cartoons that if it had X in the eyes, it was, you know, dead? So I always thought that one was for Halloween. But then the other side of it is you get all this with it. And you have that same one in white. And you can really see the X's for the eyes only on that one. So you get all this to play with. And like I said, it's a big sheet because it's a bunch of dead cats. Well, that's what's so funny is like the other two cats have little circles for eyes. It's just that one. And I was like, that's just wrong. I think maybe I thought I was going to do something for Halloween with that. So I don't know why. It's just strange. I mean, they even have like ideas for things on the cardboard on the back. So you can use this for having fun with junk journaling. It's $3 for that, and it's number 26. $3, number 26. Yeah, I did decoupage, but I wasn't about to get into scrapbooking because that was just too much. Oh, there's Marcy. Thank you. Okay, now, hey, don't do that. Stay where I put you. Thank you. Okay, now, I went looking for the company that makes these. I found them. It doesn't look like they make these anymore, or they used to get them from printed in England, but then packaged under their name, Artifacts Inc. Now they still exist in, what's the name? Palestine, Texas. But looking at their website, they don't sell this stuff anymore. No wonder the prices are all over the place. So these are going to be an offer up for all you people that love your Victorian scrap. That's what these are reproductions of. And these are starting at $4, which would be a steal at just $2 each. I'm starting it low only because these aren't filled with a lot of tiny little images. So this is the company, Artistic Inc., right? They did reproduction scraps that they got from England, which it has all that information right there. The name of the press company and the address and England. Now, this contains 2 sheets, 1986 reproduction. So this one has this wonderful little angel band on a cloud. They pronounce it Palestine. Okay. And then you've got the little cherub heads and this nice angel all framed out. So that's the first one. The other one is these children all dressed up in white furs, like the one with the little angel wings. And then on the back is a big single with them on it. And I didn't find the angel one online. I did find this one. And they had this one. Somebody was selling this one for $6, but I didn't find any sold comps on it. And it looked like it was a new listing. So you were 4, honey, in 1986. I would have turned 21 that October. And the night of my birthday, I went out after a show with the Rose Valley Chorus, and we were in the townhouse in media because it had been like opening night. And so it was the after party. And they keep telling the waitress, oh, come on, aren't you going to card her? Don't you going to card her? She's like, shut up, because I've been serving her for years since she's been coming in here with you. She just assumed that, you know, they were all older, that I was too. No. So, starting price is $4 for both of these. And I mean, think about how much fun you can have making like a Christmas thing where, you know, you have that on the back. Or I mean, make a junk Christmas themed junk journal for someone and have that as the cover. Same thing with the angels. I mean, you could have some fun with these. I saw a beautiful thing for Christmas in an antique shop once, and they had taken some of these larger ones and they would have that in the center, but then all around it, it was done, the background was done like a crazy quilt, but it was done with scraps of vintage Christmas paper. And then they had taken metallic marker to do all the stitching on the lines where the paper met to make it really look like a crazy quilt. And it was pretty cool. So, Julie, I graduated in 84. So I see Julie in for 4. Do we have anybody coming in at 5? I do like them, but these are way too big for what I do. So I thought, well, I'm not like for what I do, the tree is the right size, but these guys are too big. These are too big for me. So, all right, I don't see any other coming in, so let me to start doing going once. I'm sure over time I will find more of these, because I would have bought anytime like they get to the end of the season, they used to just sell them out. You know, they'd sell them. And I know I would have snagged, if I ever saw any on sale, I would have snagged them. And but then now that I had done decoupage stuff, then I know like these two are not gonna fit in with what I'm gonna keep doing. So going twice, because I would make little ornaments. And these are too big for that. Just a wee bit. So we have sold to Julie for $4. Congratulations, Julie. Get up there. Get up there. I'm trying not to have an avalanche because one of the cats decided to go overland this way and made things a little precarious, because all my mail is like right here. I was trying to go through the bills, and they knocked them all on the floor. So now everything is completely out of order. So, okay, now I mentioned these in my pillow is moving. This chair is gorgeous, but I need to make a proper pillow for this sucker. So I mentioned these in the live that I was going to make sure and see what I had, because I put one that was missing a row in the drop sale. And for all of you crafters that are here, there is a craft supplies drop sale that came out from my channel Tuesday evening. That is still open until midnight next Tuesday. And so far it only has had 2 things sell from that. So a lot of stuff from that drop sale is still up for grabs. Did everything work out the other night? Oh, you mean when I got trapped in the playroom? During that live of Work With Me, note that I kept saying about how the boxes were tilting. I got stuck back there, literally holding up the pile, like, you know, like trying to lean against it, but having to keep one arm up here because the boxes of books started shifting and Michael wasn't home. and Gary was asleep. I texted, I shouted, nothing. The minute Mike hits that front door, Gary's down those steps. I was like, did you just, you can't tell me you just woke up when you heard Mike's car door. So, oh, Marcy, honey, I do not need more bills. Absolutely don't need more bills. So I ended up taking my hiking stick because Mike said he wasn't going to be home for another like 30 minutes. And I thought, well, I've already stood here for 20 and I've been hefting boxes around. I was tired. So I noticed my hiking stick for Scouts, which is taller than I am, was behind the door of the playroom. So I managed to kind of wedge boxes so that they were still tilting, but they were just moving real slow. So I quick got around the door, grabbed the pole, and the biggest box that was on the top, I just took the pole and went and shoved. So it went to the other side. So it's now leaning, it tipped over and is leaning against the outer wall of that room, but it's no longer everything leaning towards me trying to kill me. Because in that center, it's all boxes of books. Oh, Kathy, you put a list on the drop sale? Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, because there's some cool stuff over there. And the piece of this that's in the drop sale is missing this entire row. So these are cotton fabric labels. They are meant for on I guess usually like quilts or no, applique is not spelled with a G. Okay, they're going to start at $3. So they have all these cool labels on them. Like from the kitchen of, you can make gift tags or whatever you want. There's one for baby. There's one here for teacher. But this sheet, there are 3 rows. This has all of them. This is all of the pattern. There are, oh, I didn't write down how many there are. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. There are 24 labels of different kinds. I personally like that one. I think that one's cute. And these are hard to find now, to find ones like this. I've seen those little tiny ones, but not these bigger ones. So these are definitely something that's out of print. I don't think it has a name that I could read because the copyright was cut off. It's like right on the edge of the selvage. Yeah, they would be. It's a good point. They would be good for junk journals. And it's an offer up starting at $3. And I do have, and that's just for one, because I do have 2. They are identical. And as I said, the one that's in the drop sale is missing an entire row, and the diamond-shaped one that I showed you, the diamond-shaped one is actually missing the top part of the diamond. On the one that's in the drop sale. But you're right, they would be cool for junk journals. That would be very cool. All right, so we will pass on those. And, oh, 17 thumbs up and 23 people here. Hi. You know, I looked at my logistics and had to laugh. Because it said 50% of my viewership comes from YouTube ads that they come in that way, but they're not subscribers. And I was so surprised at that it was like, I must have a lot of people lurking. And that's okay. You can lurk. Now, this is the Daisy Kingdom. Now, this is for applique. And this is the thing it gives you, you know, in the 80s, you know, the end of the 80s, the early 90s, they were applique and everything, the sweatshirts, the jackets. But this is from Daisy Kingdom. And this is the panel. They're kind of on the pastel kind of side, like the green isn't really, but it's all kind of lighter colors. Honestly, makes me think of Golden Girls. You know, the sweater, the sweatshirt jackets that Estelle would wear. That oh, Estelle is the actress, but Dorothy's mother makes me think of her. But I do like the pansies. I've always liked pansies. So this is $4 for the sheet. It's still, you know, original package, never been used. It's $4, number 46. $4, number 46. Somewhere in this house are Daisy Kingdom dolls, and I need to find those suckers. And no, I'm not making clothes for them. I will sell them in their original package just to get them out of the house. Because they still make panels for where you could have the panel that has the dress for the girl, for your kid, and then they would sell panels for dresses for the dolls. And they did that for longer than they did sell the dolls. Because they used to sell the dolls through Joann Fabrics, and then you had to order them. You've already got a few. Oh, okay. Oh, darn it. Stop. Get in there. They had the zoomies like almost all of last night. Mike and I both locked them out of our rooms because otherwise neither one of us is getting any sleep. I went to sleep hearing them running up and down the staircase. I woke up hearing them running up and down the staircase at 5:30 in the morning and went, no, and went right back to sleep. Now, for those who like to do junk journaling, I have something for you. Someone made a comment a long while ago about, you know, it's nice to use old books, but I always feel bad because they might be worth something. I have a couple of books that are not worth anything. I've looked them up. They were mass marketed for their time. You don't have to feel bad about turning these into a junk journal. Now, one set of them is going to be an offer up for a very specific reason. Because of what the one book is. So, and what's the other one's name? Mary Rose. Okay. Now, the only reason these are an offer up is because somebody might want to specifically make a journal themed to the one book. Okay? Because, oh, I spelled Peter wrong. What the heck? That's Pater. Okay, so this is the size. J.M. Barrie. It's got a nice green cloth cover, nice and clean, that you'd be able to do something with that cover. And inside is nice and clean. And you can junk journal your heart out on the pages. They are both plays. But the second one is Peter Pan. And I didn't know if anybody would want to make a junk journal that is specifically Peter Pan. I've seen people do Alice in Wonderland ones, Sleeping Beauty. I've not yet seen a Peter Pan one. Now, the Peter Pan one was actually used by somebody as a script. So it's got a little bit of issues in that every once in a while you find things underlined, which I guess was when they had lines. And some of the pages, annoyingly, have the corners turned down. Yeah, so where's the one page that had the most writing on it? Yeah, see, so somebody played Smee. Somebody was Smee. And because that's what's in there. And somebody else at some point played Peter because they're all underlined. Hello, Annabella. So you get both of them, and being that they have these really nice covers to them, I think it'd be perfect to actually like keep the name on the top, but then it gives you all this space to do something special for the cover. And you could have a lot of fun using a Peter Pan book to make a Peter Pan junk journal. And then with the one saying Mary Rose, I just think that would be really cool that it could be just all about like flowers or gardening or something like that. So the two together are $4. And I made an offer up because I didn't know if there'd be more than one person that wanted to go after making a Peter Pan junk journal. Oh yeah, it is pretty cool. And it's funny because some of them I've seen have absolutely no space in them to journal. And I'm like, I think they kind of overkilled that. The ones I like the most are the ones that actually have room for you to like put little notes in. And I've seen some people actually make like a journal planner with them that actually has like the calendar dates in it. So there's a lot of different ones. So, all right, I don't see anyone taking that. So we will pass on that. But I do have 3 other books. Now these are, my nose is still itching. I took the allergy medicine. So one of them has a red cover. Now he's got a little issue right at the top there. This is the Diary of Samuel Pepys. And it's part of the World's Popular Classics. The book itself, well, it doesn't even have a date. Printed in the United States of America is all it says. And they kind of have like a nondescript edge to them. The others are, I think, a similar set, just a different color. So these are only $2. But I looked them up online. I do my research for books because I've spent years selling books. And they don't really, they're worth about $2, and that's actually what they're for, is for junk journaling. So you don't have to worry about feeling like you're doing anything to a book that had any, you know, you're not going to want to do it to like my copy of Robinson Crusoe, which even though it's in bad shape is, it's from 1760 something. So when I can get to that sucker, I really need to sell that sucker. So so this one is Samuel Pepys. It's nice red cover and clean pages inside to do your junk journaling on. $2, number 44 for the red one. And then we have, these two are the same series. One is Huckleberry Finn, and the other one is a French book by Prévost. Manon Lescaut? I flunked French. Lescaut. By Anton Prevost. So these are also just $2. And they are number 22 for Huckleberry Finn and number 84 for Manon Lescaut. And they don't have, it's the same thing. They're nice, clean pages. These also do not have a date. And it's also the world's popular classics. It's just that these are a different edition from the red one. And they have brown covers. Manon has a lot of old books end up with a little wear up top here because people grab them to pull them off the shelf. And so $2 for each. That box, don't you dare fall over. And that was 22 and 84. Now, where are you? Why are you not in the box? All right. You know what? We're going to throw these in just real quick. Does anybody like Winnie the Pooh? Or need anything that has a letter M? So I have a patch that is M with a little mouse head, right? Nice and cute. Winnie here keeps falling off of his card. He is a wooden Winnie the Pooh M. So you'll get both of these. And this is $2 for the letter M, Pooh Bear, and mouse patch. $2, number 52. $2, number 52. Mike saw them and he laughed and he said, if you sell them, do I get the money? Because they were supposed to be for me. I was like, I don't know, kid. I don't know. First, let's see if they sell. Okay. All right. So I have one other thing before we get to fabric. This is all miniature stuff. And anybody that does miniatures knows they can be crazy expensive. So I've got Joshua's Lifestyle Collectibles. It has a book inside that says Our Wedding, but it also includes 4 miniature photos of bride and groom. So you get that. You get Darice Timeless Minis. This is a desk set. Has the blotter paper, a calendar, pencils in the pencil can. There's a couple of other pages that I can't quite see because they're behind the blotter, so I believe they're letters. And then this one is International something, Quality Dollhouse Accessories. And this is tiny little sheet music. Tiny little sheet music. Now, anybody who does minis knows that miniature stuff for dollhouses is crazy expensive. This weekend in Delaware, the Tri-State Minis Club will be having their yearly sale. That's this Saturday. I'm trying to behave myself and not go. So it's $4 for all these. $4, number 50. $4, number 50. Okay, now let's back up and find that vest panel. Where is the vest panel? There's the vest panel. Oh, I'm so glad I could turn that way now, because this would be a problem. Dang it. The one pillow has like velvet on it and it's slippery, so it moves. So this panel is one of those numerous ones from the 80s when vests were suddenly 80s and 90s. Vests were all the rage. But they are fun. They are a quick and easy way to make, jeans and a shirt look a little dressier. So it has a cutting instructions correction stapled to it, because when they printed it, there's something that they did wrong. I'm looking for a maker's name and I'm not finding it. This is where it's going to get hard, is because I don't have much space here. But these things always came with a lot of little extra doodads. But you have your instructions. There was always some kind of, usually a pen and ink drawing of somebody wearing it. And if you look at the shoulder part, you can see where it has different sizes to cut length. So they have large, medium, small, and extra small for them, so that it can be adjusted for any size. So it has this cool angel, little gardening angel. Am I getting it? There we go. And birds on that side. And then the back has this, which looks pretty cool. And these bands are the piece that would go in the back that you could put a little buckle on so you could tighten it up. But I don't know what. They always had some odd little thing. Well, this has these little squares, and I don't know what those are for. So this panel is $5 for the vest panel. It's $5, number 45. $5, number 45 for the vest panel. Okay. I think it's just because all the dust and lint from measuring all this stuff today. When I worked at a costume shop, I was always blowing my nose because, fabric does put out a fair bit of lint and makes your nose twitch. It's funny, when I worked at Stern's costume shop in media, when Stern was still alive, Mr. Stern, I used to go underneath all these vintage ball gowns, Civil War era ball gowns, and he used to let me keep, like, I'd pick buttons up off the floor and he'd let me keep like every 5th one I found. So I have some really cool buttons. But then when he passed away, his daughters sold the company to people I knew from Rose Valley Chorus and Orchestra. And I got hired to work there for a while doing the laundry. And it was so funny because I would see costumes come through the laundry and I'm like, oh, I remember these. Mom made these. And I remember the funniest one was there were green tailcoats. Well, up in Philly, there's a St. Patrick's Day parade. Has a lot of mummers in it. And there were green tailcoats and we only had 4. And I said, where are the other 20? And they went, what? How do you know there's more of these? Green satin tailcoats? Trust me, I know. My mother made all 24. I had to sew all the gold buttons on. So, yeah, there's 24 of them. They went searching because they hadn't had the business that long. They went searching. There was a whole other building and a warehouse full of costumes. Nothing had any inventory numbers to keep track of anything. They searched till they found them, and they did find all 24. But they wouldn't have even known if I had said something. All right. Now, where are you? Did I forget to write you down? Maybe I did. I don't know. Let's get this started. Now we get to the fabric. No. Yes. I have them on my list by like half yards and yards and. Aha, there you are. Okay. I thought I had a couple of fat quarters, but I don't know where I put them. Or skinny quarters. So when you do quilting, you usually buy quarter yard cuts. But these are all 18 inches. Some are a tiny bit over, but they're all half yard cuts. I am not going to cut these in half to make them quarter yard cuts. The goal is to empty my house. So, they're all good quality cotton. Several of these, actually, most of these came from a quilt shop, so it's at better quality, higher thread count cotton. There's one that is Daisy Kingdom, which came from Joann Fabrics, and what you can feel them and feel that one's just a hair thinner in the thread count. So, all half yard pieces, they're all going to start at $3. These are all discontinued pieces. I've looked them up. I've found quite a few of them. There is no way I am going to charge you guys. I mean, there are 4 of them that I found to get a quarter yard cut. There are people on Etsy selling them for $9. And I went, no, maybe if I sell it on Etsy, but not to you guys. You're my night owls. Got to take care of my night owls. Now, I have a feeling I bought this, and I have no idea why. I'm also holding it upside down. It is a half yard cut of chickens and chicken wire fencing. It's seems to be a little thinner weight, so I think this one may have also come from Joann Fabrics. But it starts at $3. If anyone wants to start in on the chickens. So we'll put chickens in so we know which pieces we're looking at. And anyone want a half a yard of chickens? I think I may have gotten it because we were making stuffed dolls. And I'm pretty sure there's a pattern somewhere in this house for chicken dolls. And this would have been for the dress. I'm sure of it. But I've no idea where those patterns are. Okay, so no takers on the chickens. We'll pass on the chickens. Next is Daisy Kingdom Bears. Okay. Oops. That's wrong. How do I get out? I really hate these smiley face things. Remove that. Okay. Now, this is a half yard of Daisy Kingdom Bears. Now, Daisy Kingdom used to do a lot of really fancy, I haven't worked with Joann's in a couple of decades now, so not since the 90s. So I don't know if they still do Daisy Kingdom dolls and Daisy Kingdom dresses for little girls, but this is the border, which has these really cute bears, little seaside looking thing, and it's a stripe. Now on the other side, it has that as the border. And a lot of times on those Daisy Kingdom dresses, you didn't cut them like you normally would. You didn't cut them laying it flat like this. Quite a few of those Daisy Kingdom dresses, you would have had to open up the whole piece and lay your pattern out, because some of the dresses would have a front panel that was all one piece. So it depends on what type of dress it was for that season. A lot of the summer ones were the type that didn't have all the frou-frou on them, like the Christmas ones looked almost Victorian with all the ruffles and extra laces and things. But the summer ones were a lighter weight, less that the kid could actually play in. And so this is a great piece of $3 for the half yard of the Daisy Kingdom bears. And that's where that one's going to start. And if we have no one who wants to start in, we will pass. Now, let's see. This is Michael Miller Fabrics. Michael Miller is a designer as well as Robert Kaufman. Some people look for. He would only release things, they'd only be out that 1 year and then gone. If you needed more, you had trouble finding it, because there's a lot of designers that did that. They would release a whole range of fabric patterns, and then that would be it for that year. So this is the Michael Miller cats. They call it Cuddly Cat, but it's so cute because they're all pairs, and some of them are cuddling, some are singing. They all have little captions underneath them. This one is two caterwauling cats, the two cuddly cats, two complacent cats. I just think they are really kind of funny. Are there any other ones? There's two different kinds of cuddly cats, because there's a pink one. It's a cuddly cat. No one wants to start at $3 for the Michael Miller piece? And if you are watching this on the replay, you can always send me an email for a week up to a week after a live sale, because after that, these things are going to start showing up in my Etsy store. Now, who's next? The houses? Where did I set the houses? The houses, the bears, and the black tulips. Oh, there's Nora. Nora wants that. I didn't get a chance to write past. That's good. Nora is in for $3 for the Michael Miller cats. Is anyone else going to come in for $4? We'll give it a second. It's a nice half yard piece, has never been cut down. Mom never was one for buying things as quarter yards. I'll just get a half yard. Okay. Oh, then this is one of the ones we would have gotten from the quilt shop out in Chad's Ford. Oh, I miss that place. But we always got into so much trouble So I don't see anyone else coming in. So we're going to start calling it, going once, going twice. No one's coming in, sneaking in for this. And we will have a sold pop up. There we go. Sold to Nora for $3. Good deal, sweetie. Good deal. Now, this is another one that was from the quilt shop. Have to open it up so you can see it. This is Bumble Bear, according to the Selvage Edge, but it has kind of cut off who made it, so I don't know who did that. But it cracks me up. Now, I don't like bees, but this one cracks me up. Look at that. It's all bees, bears dressed as bees with hives eating the honey. It is just so funny. I just think it's a riot. So we have the Bumble Bears. Starts at $3 for a half-yard cut. This is really nice weight quilting fabric. This is that slightly heavier weight fabric you get from the quilting stores. But it is so cute. It is the Bumble Bears. And I see Kathy is in for $3. Absolutely adorable. I can't imagine what going in a quilting store is now. I get emails from Keepsake Quilting website because I used to buy stuff from them too online. And I mean, back in the 90s, it was expensive if it was, $8 or $9 a yard for this stuff. But now, the prices are like $17 and $18 a yard for good quilting fabric. And I thought, yeah, the only time I bought some was they had some Boy Scout stuff. And I bought, I think, 4 yards of each of them. And I've used some of it for Mike. So Kathy is the only one for the bears. We're going to call it. We're going to start calling it. We've got going once, going twice. The cool part of this stash of mine is that that just about every single pattern you find is going to be one of a kind because they're all discontinued. They're all definitely discontinued patterns at this point. Okay, and the Bumble Bears are sold to Kathy. Awesome. Now, the next piece is houses. I know I bought it, and I don't remember why. I don't know if I thought maybe I was going to do something where the houses were off in the distance or something, but I don't remember why I bought it. Now this is Fabric Traditions, which means this probably came from Joann Fabrics, and it does feel a little lighter weight, but the color saturation is really good. So doesn't have the name. So we're going to put the next piece in that starts at $3 is Houses. It's a half-yard cut. It's all over houses. With all those, and then that's down here. Whoops, it's down here. So the repeat I saw that. What's it doing? I I keep telling Mike, there's something wrong with that router. Am I back yet? There we go. Okay, I'm going to change my speed to 125 so it'll catch up to me. Why is my quality so low? That's better. There we go. Oh, Girl Scout fabric? Yeah, I mean, the Boy Scout fabric, they only did it for the 100th anniversary. So I bought a good chunk of it because I knew I was never going to see it again. And so we have the houses. It's a half yard cut. It is not a fat quarter where they've come along. Now, for those of you who don't know what a fat quarter is, in quilting, what they do is they take a half yard cut, but then where the fold is, they cut it here, and you only get one side of it. You don't get both sides. You just get one. That's what a fat quarter is. A skinny quarter is pretty much just a quarter cut. It's a quarter cut, but you get the whole thing. But yeah, so I don't see anyone for the houses, so we're gonna get out of there. There we go. We're gonna pass on the houses, and I believe this is my last half yard cut, unless that piece of wool. What's that piece of wool? There is that piece of wool. Oh, I put it down there. That's not 1 yard. I'll fix that. We'll do that next. So this is one. Yeah, wouldn't it be a good background for a Christmas scene? It really would be a nice background thing. You could do a applique of, like, you could find a fabric that's got Santa and the reindeer. You could do an applique of that in front of some of the houses, or have them down below and him flying over a night sky. It could be fun with those. Hello, CDC. How are you? Okay, so the next one is, I'm calling it black tulips because that's what they look like. So this starts at $3. It is a black on charcoal gray pattern. The color goes right to the edge, so you can't really see, but they do kind of look like tulips to me. And sometimes, you know, to really make a pattern pop, having a little black on something can sometimes really make the colors stand out. So this is a nice little piece you could have for that. I'm pretty sure from the weight, this is a Joanne Fabrics piece, which is in the 90s. Joanne Fabrics cotton was good. The last time I was in a Joanne Fabrics was maybe 2017, and I was not impressed with the current state of their cotton. But yeah, I mean, that would be fun for Halloween too. So this is a half yard cut, and so it starts at $3. Really nice black on charcoal gray. Gives it a nice textured look, but when you look closely, you can see that it's tulips. But yeah, for Halloween, you know, because sometimes it's hard to find something. You either have all black, or you might find stuff with cobwebs, but you don't really find something that's just a generic kind of pattern, black on black or black on gray, that you can use for filler Halloween things. right? So this is half yard cut would be great for that. And I don't see anyone for the black tulips. So we will pass on the black tulips. All right. Now we're going to get to this odd one because I see I wrote it down as being a 1 yard cut, but it's then when I measured it, it's not. This is a piece of thin wool. Wool or flannel? Let's say flannel, because I have no way. There's nothing on the selvage edge. It's a plaid. Interesting choice of plaids. It is 16 inches wide this way. It's actually a little more, but what I did, because it's a plaid, is that I only measured to the actual complete lines. Like, which one is it? So I did it on this side. So this side isn't a straight cut. So I think this was either the start of the bolt or the end of the bolt. So I only went from where there was a complete line on this side to where there was a complete line on this side, which would be this blue one. Because that way you get, you're getting the full line of inches. So it's a little wider than 16, but where the repeat is 16 inches, but it's 60 inches wide. This is I can't even, this is the width. Okay, the selvage edge is here and the fold is here. This is a lot of fabric. So it's 60 inches wide and 16 inches. It's 60 inches long and 16 inches wide. I always forget now. So the fabric is 60 wide and the length this way is 16. So for this one, because for that oddball one, we're just gonna, I think it's a flannel, not a wool. It's weird because it kind of has that wool feel, but it's got that fuzzy flannel feel. So we're gonna just make that one. Well, we're just gonna make that one a $3 one, and that is number 13 for the plaid. Number 13. My pillows are moving again. I wiggle around and they start sliding off the wood chair. Honestly, it makes me think of kilts. The plaid skirts that the girls wore. But I don't think they'd have those colors necessarily for a Catholic girls' school. Let's see. So now we are up to 1 yard cuts. Now, a lot of these 1 yard cuts are specialty fabrics. So these, okay, so these are going to start at $5 for the yard. Okay. Most of these came from the quilt stores, and they are definitely your specialty fabrics because of the patterns. If you like frogs, have I got some fabric for you? I know there's a pattern for making frog stuffed toys. This was probably meant to be their clothes. I'm not worried about it. If I need to, I will find more fabric to dress the frogs in, should I ever find the pattern. But stop that. But this is the pattern. Check out that orange. Oh my, that is, I don't know if it's showing up for you, but that is so Halloween orange. And it's just got all over frogs. Kind of derpy looking, right? So the start for the frogs is $5. Oh, wait. I need to fix that because there's other frogs. Wait a second. Okay, wait. Frogs on orange. There we go. So it is a 1 yard cut. You got a full yard there. This is an Elena Rosa. This is an Elena Rosa, and I did find her stuff online. So hey, there's Gabby. Gabby's been lurking and watching it on high speed so she can. No one got the Peppies or the Mary. It's not Mary Poppins. It's Mary Rose, which is a different play by J.M. Barrie. And I was putting that and the Peter Pan one together. So yeah, those were all unclaimed. Gabby missed the miniatures too. Gabby missed the miniature stuff. So this is the very cool frogs. Does it have a name? It does say that it is by Elena Rosa, 1997, but it doesn't actually have the name of the pattern, just a pattern number, which is 2609. I did find her name. There are people, she's another one, like that Michael Miller, like Robert Kaufman. They just put stuff out for, the designs for 1 year, and then the following year they come up with whole new ones. So this is a 1 yard piece for that. And if no one is interested in the frogs on orange, we can pass. And then give me a second, and I will back up here. So Gabby you want Peter Pan and Mary Rose, and you want the red cover Peppies. The other two were brown covers. And there was something else, right? The house fabric. No one claimed the house fabric. The house fabric was $3 for the half yard cut. Okay. So the Elena Rosa frogs. Fold these back up. Oh, I have some vintage pipe cleaners somewhere around here that I can't use for crafting because they're the weirdest pipe cleaners. They actually have little tiny wire barbs through the pipe cleaner, so they're really meant to be cleaning out the pipe. So they're not a crafter special. They are useful though for cleaning out little tiny things you can't get through otherwise. So let's see. Now we have Funny Frog. It says Funny Frog. It must say it on the fabric. So this one has a black background, and yep, it does say Funny Frogs. It says Funny Frogs #2. So apparently there was another one. So, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I did pass on the other ones. So Funny Frogs is next. Again, it starts at $5 for a 1 yard cut. Nice color saturation, lovely bright fuchsia on there, and turquoise, and absolutely adorable. It's an all over pattern. It does say funny frogs along the selvage. And I know I saw a date. I thought I saw a date. I lost the date. Did I not see a date on you? No, I didn't. Now, the odd part of this one is that it actually was folded this way, which is way longer. Instead of being folded selvage to selvage. I don't know why. So let's get you folded up properly. But that is a fun one. You have to watch that this is an all-over pattern, but the pattern definitely goes up and down this way. It's not one where the all-over is all around the different sides. So there are never any decent estate sales around me because they're usually super expensive. I want to go see Lori Ann. I want to go see Sugar Britches next year in Ohio. She's got to take me around to her estate sales. So I don't see anyone for the funny frogs. So we will pass on the frogs. Now we have one more frog. Who remembers the stories of The Wind in the Willows? Remember Mr. Toad? Mr. Toad would get dressed up in his finery. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. The fabric's actually called Mr. Toad. Mr. Toad Gets Dressed. Philip de Leon for Alexander Henry Fabrics, 1995. This is a nice weight quilting fabric from the quilt store. I'm telling you, I'm sure these frogs were meant to be on for those frog dolls that I'm sure there's the pattern. I remember there being a pattern. I don't know where it is though. Mr. Toad. But it actually is called, where is it? Mr. Toad Gets Dressed. Philip de Leon for Alexander Henry Fabrics. But that's, I think I have it upside down there. But that's Mr. Toad. I love the striped socks. They remind me of Oompa Loompas. But he's, you know, he really goes from where he has no clothes on to where he has partially the clothes on, and then he finally gets to where he has all of the clothes on. And you see him hopping around. It is the funniest thing because you see him hopping around trying to get dressed. So once you really start looking at it, it is just too funny. Absolutely too funny. And the start for that was $5 for a 1 yard piece. $5. Yeah, isn't it? It's great fabric. I just had to start laughing when I read the title of it, that it's Mr. Toad Gets Dressed. Oh, and Gabby's in for $5. Anybody else want to take it for $6? I mean, yeah. A 1 yard piece of this stuff, that's a steal at $5. Y'all do a lot of sewing, you know that's true, especially the quilt shop stuff. The higher quality. That's where a lot of stuff. We would go in and we'd make a day of it because there was a tea room across like the Chadsford Villages. It was a thing of little shops, and there was an antique store, thrift shop, that was a 3-story house. That's gone because now it's an ironworkers bank, bank building there. But there used to be a little tea room, and the tea room was directly across in a little tiny building from the quilt shop. And so we would go and have tea and then go into the quilt shop. And we'd often be in that quilt shop for 3 or 4 hours and rack up, a couple of $100 worth of fabric. Well, I don't see anyone else for Mr. Toad. I'm going to sit Mr. Toad up there and I'm going to start to call it. So yeah, the quilt shop was definitely, I did not get into as much trouble with fabric working at Joann Fabrics as I did the craft supplies. But we both got into a lot of trouble in the quilt shops. Oh, those were happy times. And it was fun because, I mean, we used to make so many toys, so many stuffed toys. And she made, we drove all the way out. It was like an hour's drive away to an AC Moore. And they used to sell these jointed teddy bears. And congrats, Gabby, on Mr. Toad. And we would go buy whatever they had. She'd watch for them to be on sale, and they'd have a big bin. And one day we went in and we emptied the bin. And she would dress the bears. But she was smart. She'd dress them in pairs. We even had a Hanukkah set because she'd gotten Hanukkah fabric from Joann Fabrics. So we had the little boy and the little girl, and the boy bear would have a little vest, pair of pants, a little shirt. And the girl would have this really frilly, lace-edged, little frou-frou kind of skirt, little dress, and sometimes a little hat if it was a colonial period outfit. And she would get them and make them, and we'd sell them at the craft fairs. But at the end of the year, if we had any left over, she would donate them to City Team Ministries here in Chester. Not Toys for Tots, because they get plenty of toys, but those smaller, local, little places don't always get as many donations. Toys for Tots, so well known, they tend to get everything. But City Team in Chester, she would take whatever were the leftover bears and she would donate them to the kids' party they would have in downtown Chester. So somewhere downtown in the 90s, there were a lot of little bears keeping kids happy. So Mr. Toad goes to Gabby. Next is Funny Cat. Funny Cat. I don't know what I was thinking, because odds are this was me, because it's cats, but maybe not. Mom did like the really bright colors. Their eyes remind me of Bender from Futurama, because their eyes are all big, round, with tiny little pupils. Really colorful, absolutely colorful print. So this is Funny Cat, 1 yard, and let's see, who is Timeless Treasures, 1997, called Funny Cat. And the pattern goes this way. So when you go to make something, you got to be careful how you lay it out. It's not an all over pattern because there's none that are upside down. They all go straight up and down that way. And Funny Cat is $5 start for the yard. 1 yard piece. And if no one has any interest in Funny Cat, we can pass on Funny Cat. And next is one that I had trouble just figuring out what kind of fabric it is. So it's thicker than regular cotton, but it's not, I mean, it's not thick like a denim. It seems like it's almost like, it's almost like decorator fabric. You're going to make pajamas out of Mr. Toad? So this is interesting because it's not folded right. Wait, what? What did I find out measurements for this? So if you go this way, there's 1 yard and 5 inches. But maybe this was a piece of decorator fabric because it's cut on 3 sides. And the home decorator fabrics are always a little bit thicker. It would make a nice pair of shorts because it is that little bit thicker material. But it's too thin to be upholstery fabric. But it is a big piece. So I know I had measured it at 1 yard, 5 inches. But I didn't notice that it only had 1 selvage edge side. So we'll make this one I'm gonna lower this one. So good night, Marcy. Okay, so we're going to lower this one and make the sage green $3 because it's just a conundrum because it only has selvage on one side, but it's a big piece and it's definitely 1 yard. But that's more than 45 inches wide. But it's not quite 60 either. So I'm not sure what the deal is, but it is a nice weight. It would look good with Mr. Toad, wouldn't it? Don't you start sliding. Stay there. Look, it would look good with Mr. Toad. It makes the green of Mr. Toad pop. So this particular piece was start at $3 for that one. And I like that, Julie. So we'll pass on that one. Now, back to the $5 prices. This is a flannel piece. It is 1 yard, but it's all cosmetics. You got your lipstick, your rouge, mirrors, little compacts. Yeah, so they all have kind of a really vintage look to the actual things too. Now the wording, it says mirror, mirror, under the mirror. Beauty underneath the compact. That's spread out underneath a couple different things. But all the mirrors have mirror, mirror around them. Oh, Gabby's going to take the olive fabric. Okay. We'll put it with Mr. Toad. It does actually work really well with him. Sold to Gabby. But this is a nice, it's a 1 yard piece. Usual 45-inch wide. 1 yard of pink flannel with all that cosmetic stuff. Who made you? Doesn't have a name? Jaftex Core 2002. It's the only thing on there. So that's the cosmetics flannel. So I have Gabby down. She's got her sage. So we'll pass on the flannel piece. Where are the angels? Which angels? This angels. Okay. This is, and I see I've got the circle of death. Oh, chat disconnected. Please wait. Come on. Why am I disconnected? Come on, you. Why am I disconnected? Da, 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 da. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Barbie PJs. I have Barbie fabric that I need to put online as an auction because of the movie and get that sucker into my eBay store. Because I need the new roof and I need to at least get it repaired for the winter, get those vines off of it and see where the holes are. And I can't do that, so we got to hire somebody. So this is an all-over piece. It's interesting because this has the selvage, but the selvage has all the little threads, which you don't see very often. But it is a pretty cool angel piece. Got that kind of country look. It's 1 yard piece for, what did I call them? You'll understand in a second. What did I do? What the heck? I touched something wrong. Live. Oh. Go to my channel. Where am I? There. No. No, don't eat my chat. Oh, yeah, that's the plan, Julie. That is the plan. I had been talking about doing a live sale with fabric for you guys for a while. So when it became evident that I absolutely had to get through into the playroom to get that tilt that was going on with the boxes stopped, I had to get through some of the boxes, and a lot of it was craft stuff in the front, but it's boxes of books behind it that were collapsing towards me. So there'll be book sales coming up soon. So there we go. Yeah, I just had to find it because I went to type something in. It didn't take it. I went to type in plaid angels, and all of a sudden my entire laptop just took me right out of the feed. This is the plaid angels. It's 1 yard. Aren't they cute? Now that's an all over where they're all different directions, and that's adorable, right? And it is a full yard of it. Full yard cuts start at 5. Plaid angels, nice all over. Has that nice country feel with all the, what is it, cottage core? Would be really cute. And honestly, this kind of thing would be really cute because you could do so much with it with the holidays coming up. Make little fancy jar lid things. You know, because you used to take pinking shears and cut out a square and then take the circle off your can stuff, put the square over it, and put the lid, the outer ring back on and make it look festive for a gift. So it is really cute. No, that's not dirt. That's a bruise. I have no idea how or where I did that, but that's a heck of a bruise. But yep, plaid angels. Really cute. I like the little watering can. I really wonder if my mom got this to be the lining of the panel for the vest, because it would go well with it. It doesn't exactly match, but that angel has plaid, and so that would be cute. And so no one's for, yeah, I think it'd be great for the jar toppers. So we're going to pass on the plaid angels. Now, next is, I'm just calling it angel in the bushes. Not, if I could learn to spell, because angel does not have an M in it. It looks like an angel in the bushes, okay? But this is the companion piece for that vest panel. And oh, there's a little sign that says herbs for sale. So tell me that does not look like an angel in the bushes. Tell me she does not look like, there's the herbs for sale. She looks like she's hiding behind some bushes. It's 1 yard. It is, oh, nothing on the selvage edge. Doesn't have any words. So it's a 1 yard piece. It is the same angel, at least that one. That's the same angel that's on the vest panel. So if you did it right, you could use this as the lining and make the vest reversible. I don't know how to do that. Mom never did teach me how to sew. So sewing clothing for me is a challenge, which is why I was willing to offer up the vest panel for sale. So, oh, very cottagecore, right? Very cottagecore. So we're going to pass on that. Now, this one is 1 yard and 8 inches. Okay. You got any baseball fans in the house? Because you're going to like this one. So it has quite the disclaimer on this. It has Major League Baseball trademarks and copyrights are used with permission of Major League Baseball Properties, Inc. Fabric Traditions, 2002, copyright, yada, 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 yada. This is for individual consumption only. It's not like you're going to eat it. Why do they use the word consumption? Any unauthorized use of this fabric is prohibited and illegal. I just want the selvage edge. I think that is the funniest thing. Honestly, I would half want to frame just that, just because I think it's hysterical. But it is, get it open here, because of course, you know, this all has been folded up with the colors on the inside. So it has all the baseballs with all the teams. $5 start. Now, I found this one online, and you're getting a steal to get a whole yard for starting at $5. Now, there are some, like there's the Phillies, but some of them, did they change? Didn't these two change their logos? Oh, Gabby's in for 5. There's the Yankees, the Royals, the Twins. Who's that one? I don't know that one. Yeah, I mean, it's a great print and it's a steal at $5. And and over time, some of these have stayed the same. The Blue Jays are on here. Of course, the Giants, Pirates. So there's the Pittsburgh team. Detroit Tigers, Padres, Royals. Who's this one? I don't know that one. Oh, yeah. Absolute steal. Absolute steal. Oh, would that be Tampa Bay? Because that's a Stingray. So that might be Tampa Bay. But I really wonder if the one of the reasons the price for this was so high, there's the Cardinals, when I found it was because it still has the Braves and the Indians, and I'm pretty sure didn't they change their names? Oh yeah, it's because it's a little over a yard. It's 1 yard and 8 inches. Okay, so the star is Houston Astros. Okay. And there's the Red Sox. There's Marlins. And Seattle. Seattle's upside down over here. Yeah. So it's a great piece of fabric. And to get it, nobody else wants to fight her for it, huh? Oh, Gabby's getting a steal. She's stealing home plate, guys. Let me tell you. She is absolutely stealing home plate on this one. So, oh, I see how you spelled pillowcases. All right, so I think we're going to start calling that. I did think twice about whether I was going to bring that one or not. And I thought, no, I've already measured it. I'm going to bring it. Because I can treat my night owls that way, I don't mind. Because I absolutely know you guys would appreciate it. So we have going twice. Oops. Let's try that again. Going twice. And then we'll put a sold in. And sold. For $5 to Gabby. Now the last 1 yard piece kind of reminds me of like screening on your windows. You see how small that is? And it's a 1 yard piece. Oh, Cleveland's are now the Guardians. Okay. Yeah, because I was like, that might be why somebody is getting $9 a half yard of that fabric on online, and they're getting it. That's I found sold comps, and that might be why, because those two don't exist anymore. But if you do applique work and if you have a quilt that shows a window or something, I thought this would be cool because it looks like those old school screens. Oh, don't worry about it, Gabby. I'd rather spoil my night owls. And for all I know, there's more of that fabric here somewhere. Because we already found there is a generic baseball one a piece in the drop sale. It's just that one has actually like the leagues, the teams. So this is a 1 yard piece. I call it blue screening. And if you do applique, I've seen quilts where they have a window box and you do all the flowers. and then you have the window. But I think it'd be kind of cool because you could put this up as like screening, and then you don't have to worry about trying to make some image through the window. So that's the last 1 yard piece. And there we go, pass. All right. I need to drink water. Oh, wait. We are well past midnight. Where'd I put it? Crap. Found out something new today. It's the cortisol shots in my spine. It could be what's up in my blood pressure. That was a surprise. But because I can now turn to the left, I didn't need as many of those shots on Wednesday. I mean, cripes, there have been times they've put 7 of them in me. We put in 4. No, we did do 5 because I was doing something and I pinched the thing up here, and up here is what's causing this arm to the ligament to tighten and then cramp and twist my hand around. Honestly, a trip to the chiropractor would fix that because I know my neck and my shoulders are a lot of whack. So he put in 1 up there. So I did get 5, but that's not a usual spot. We think I pulled it when I tripped over Gimli because I grabbed the door frame up here and then down here so that I didn't hit the glass on the back door because I didn't want stitches. And so he thinks with me trying to grab so hard to slow down my drop so I didn't hit the ground real hard, that I probably, because both shoulders hurt, I probably pulled muscle on this side. So, but that was good because I mean, it had 1 shot on the left and then 3 shots on the right, on my back, below the small of my back. So that is way better than it had been. So let's see, where are we now? Now we get into the fun stuff. So now we're into the stuff I am willing to cut down. If you just want a 1/4 yard or a 1/2 yard or the whole piece, and I have not really figured out how the hell I'm going to do this. So, all right. That also means I need to switch boxes. Oh, this will be fun. Now I have to make sure I don't hurt myself. Hang on. I'm going to take my time doing this because I don't want to hurt myself. Because this box is big and is not light. Oh. It's always that bending over part that hurts. That part hasn't gone away yet. I can bend over to ground and it doesn't hurt. But if I bend over just that halfway, I could never go to Japan now. I'd never be able to bow. So, where's the first one? Okay. Now, this one is a little more because it is a Robert Kaufman print. So instead of this one being 5 for a yard, it's 6. Now I am willing to cut it down if you don't want a full 1.5 yards. But you have to let me know. It'll have a number. This one's $6 a yard. It is International Cats. Where's the Kaufman part? Because I know this guy is really sought after. That's the Robert Kaufman. you usually can, it used to be back in the day, you could only get his fabrics through independent little quilt shops. But look at this fabric. Check this out. Cats from all over the world. I see one in a Arabic outfit, Mexican. I see one with a bagpipe. I see one with a red dot on her forehead, so that would be India. There's one that's either China or Japan. Baseball one, so that's probably the US. There's one with a, looks like it might be, this one looks like it might be Inuit. Like, so, oh, hon, that thing, as the pieces get further down, they get bigger. The bottom piece is 8 yards of flannel. So it is really cool. But it is a 1.5 yards. And I'm going to give you the number. It is $6 a yard. And I'll give you the number, and you can tell me what size cut you want. If you want the 1.5 yards, it would be $9. But the going rate on this one is going to be $6 a yard for you, for my night owls. Or if you want just a 1/2 yard, I'll adjust the price accordingly, okay? So, so for the international cats, that's what we're calling it. It is $6 for a yard. You can tell me how much of a cut you want. It is number 65. Number 65. It's $6 for a full yard. You could tell me, I will cut it down. I'm willing to do that and adjust the price. Honestly, I would love if we had, you know, I mean, like the resellers all get together and then just go to like the longest yard sale or whatever, or the Rose Bowl yard, because the Rose Bowl does a massive flea market once or twice a year. But, you know, I mean, that's the resellers. Why can't we just have somewhere where we have a nice convention and have a party for everybody? Not just the sellers, but the buyers too. We just have a party. Now, you all are going to be here for October 26th, right? Because that's a Thursday night. And you're all going to be here, right? Because what happens at midnight? What happens at midnight? Does anybody remember why we're having it be a sale/party that night? Oh, nobody remembers. So my birthday is October 27th. And I'll turn 58. Wait, 1965. Yeah, 58. Don't even know how old I am. So we're going to have everything's all set so that in my calendar, you know, we alternate weeks for sales so that it happens to fall on the 26th. So when it turns to hits midnight, then we're into my birthday. I don't know what time I was born on that day. It was sometime in the wee hours of the morning because the doctor wanted to go on vacation and he insisted on inducing my mom. She kept telling him I wasn't due for another couple of days, which would have made me a Halloween baby, which would be in keeping with everybody else that she had, because everybody but me is on or within a day. Well, Phyllis is actually on Boxing Day. So it's not really within a day of a holiday. It's just not an American holiday. So yeah. Oh, that would be cool. Yeah. Who was in Iowa? Isn't that where Thrift U? Isn't that where Sam and oh good Lord, I was just talking to her. I can't believe I can see her face, I can hear her voice. Oh my goodness, she's gonna laugh at me when she finds out I can't remember her name. Sam and her mother from Thrift U. Okay, so I almost forgot to write down the number. 65 for the all over cats was $6 a yard. Now, now this one, Sam and Sarah. I think I know that one. This is a 2-yard piece. And this one is going to be $5. It is, if you do little tiny stuff, after the things that I've had happen in my life, I will take any birthday that has me upright, walking around and breathing. I am no longer worried about the number. Not at all. As a kid, I drowned. As a teenager, we were in a car accident in a Pinto. Remember them? They like to explode. Somebody hit us right in the back. Gas was going everywhere. So we got out of the car, survived that. Dropped out of a tree as a kid and dropped about 15, 20 feet. So that was another one which could have ended a lot worse. Lost steering on the highway to a car with Mike in the car. That could have gotten real bad if the car had drifted into the oncoming lane. So I figure I dodged a bullet there. Had a heart attack on the side of a mountain. Had a mini stroke and couldn't get anybody to take me seriously because I was from Chester. Jerks. Had a bullet wing past my head out in the middle of the woods. That was before Boy Scouts. So yeah, I've dodged some bullets. So I figure, and then with the pinched nerve that had me flat on my back for so long, plenty of bullets that as long as I'm upright, breathing and moving, I'm good. Why am I seeing that circle again? So this one is a really neat little mini pattern because look, there's the tip of my finger and that little, almost like a Tudor kind of flower. And then behind it are teeny tinier flowers. So this one is $5 a yard for the dark blue tiny flowers. Now this is a 2-yard piece, so it's $5 a yard. And if you want it, you just put the number in and then let me know what you want. If you want a yard or a quarter yard. But it's $5 a yard, dark blue tiny flowers, number 19. Now, what do you consider the big one? I grew up knowing the great aunts and uncles that were my great grandparents' kids, and Annie Howe was born in 1900. And a lot of them lived into their 80s, a couple of them into their 90s. So I figure with all the bullets I dodge, the big one for me, I'll be happy if I see 70. I'll be very happy. I want to live into my 90s. I want to live long enough to be a problem to Michael's children. That could be fun. Our own little tiny house neighborhood. That has potential to be fun. Yeah, I mean, that'd be nice. My mom was 76, but my dad was only 67. So, because dad was sudden and I was only 30. And it's really weird to be an orphan at 41. I mean, that was kind of weird. Um, but I'm the youngest with a 16-year age. There was a 16-year age spread. With Steve gone, now Phyllis is the oldest. So, and that's a 14-year age spread between my sister and I. So I would love to be into my 80s. But that means getting healthy, taking better care of myself. I got weighed at the doctor's and I am 100, I am not 100, I am 284 pounds. That's a lot. Yes, that is a lot. That is too damn much, is what that is. But that is lighter than I have been in a long time. Because you figure I've had two different times where I had bed rest, one for foot surgery, then I had bed rest for, and that was for, each one ended up, like the foot surgery ended up being 7 weeks. The snapped ligaments ended up being 8 weeks. Hernia surgery had me flat on my back for 4 weeks. And all this just every time put more weight on. So I am quite happy to be at 284. And it's been staying, it's been getting like a pound or two less every time I'm there, and it's staying off, which is the key thing. So we'll see what happens. And I am doing something with my Boy Scouts. Every kid that is first class, that's going for first class, and most of the troop is not up to first class yet. They're not there yet. So all of them are doing it, all the younger ones. That they have to do for 4 weeks, they have to do 30 minutes a day for 5 days a week of fitness, but they don't have to do it all at once. So I found, I think she's Chinese, because that does not sound like Japanese. What's her first name? But her last name is Han, H-A-N. And she has these great exercises I found that are low impact as far as cardio. And I have balance issues, so she has a thing that's just on those. But she has, and they all take, like, some of these videos, it's literally like 8 minutes. But let me tell you, some of them, she's got one to make your arms skinnier. That 8 minutes, it looked so easy. It was not easy. It was not. You're doing each of the movements for like 45 seconds, and she goes through about 8 different movements. That was hard. It looked like it'd be easy, but that was hard. But if the kids got to do it, I put it on the troops Facebook page that if it'll help the kids get motivated to do it, I will do it too. And I have been, but I'm doing it in like 10 minutes, 3 10-minute sections throughout the day. But man, that one was rough. That one was way rough, those arm ones. But I put it on the Facebook page and I said, okay, parents, here's what they have to do. What parents are going to join us? So quite a few of them, I've heard from 4 moms and 2 dads that are doing it with their kid, which is great. So then it's more likely the kid will have that thing done. So, oh, darling. Yeah, long-term COVID is rough. It's rough. That's definitely a struggle. Yeah, it does cause so many health problems, hon. We will all be thinking good thoughts your way. because it is a long process. My spine doctor, his wife has long-term COVID, and he compared it to nerve damage. That is what he deals with as a doctor. People that come in with injuries at nerve damage. And he said, some things just do things to the body that just take so much longer to heal and sometimes they just never do. So I hope you find ways to work around and do what you can, but take your time. Take your time. My heart has to heal because we figured out from the cardiologist and all that the murmur, the flap got stuck and then it tore. So I'm not allowed to do anything cardio. So I went looking for exercise things I could do that weren't gonna up my cardio rate. I'm not even allowed to go around the block walking. At least not in the hot weather. I can go to the corner and come back now that we're 2 weeks out, but nothing that gets it really up and pumping because we need that little valve to heal. Otherwise, it's another little surgery, and I don't want that. So, Susan, I'll be thinking about you and thinking good thoughts. So, all right, let's see. Where are we? I have to get back to this. Oh, that's what I gotta turn the page. Honestly, this is the first sale I've ever covered 4 pages with space for notes. So this is the doll one. Remember early on I showed you in the very beginning, for those of you that weren't here, I don't know what I did with them now. I actually showed the notes that had been with some of the fabric that my mother had written of what she was doing. Oh, here we go. Okay, burgundy dolls, 4 yards, dress for one of the girls or dress dolls in it. That was what her plan was. This is cool fabric, and she absolutely would have thought it was great fun to, oh, yeah. When I had COVID, I had it in the early days, in like March of 2020, and I was sleeping on my stomach, and so it caught me all in the bronchial tubes. And it's taken a couple of years and I still have to watch. I get gunk filled up in here. So if I even get a head cold, it immediately starts overproducing phlegm and gunk, not in my sinuses, but in the bronchial tubes. So it has lasting effects. And if you have long COVID, dear, I'm so sorry. But this is the pattern. That side's upside down. So it's a burgundy fabric, but look at the dolls. They're all those fancy, dressed Victorian kind of frilly style. Absolutely adorable. And that's what she would have thought it was quite funny to dress dolls in fabric that had dolls on it. But it's typical 45-inch wide cotton. And dang it, come on. You can tell I worked at a fabric store because some of this is accordion folded. But I don't have I really wish I had my dining room table back because it would have made it so much faster and easier to measure this. But I'll be able to cut it on a nice flat surface because Mike bought himself a brand new desk that's nice and wide, and he already said I can take his laptop off of it and use that if I need to trim any. So this is 4 yards of doll fabric, and this one is $5 a yard. And like I said, I am willing to cut it down and adjust the price accordingly for any cuts that you want, down to a quarter. And I'm not going to do fat quarters. I'm not going to end up with a half. If you need a half yard, you'll get a half yard. But I'm not going to then cut it along the fold to make fat quarters. So, so this is $5 a yard. If you're getting less than a yard, I'll adjust the price accordingly. For the doll fabric, 100% cotton, it is number 39. You would just let me know the number and then what size piece you need. Now, ready for a fun one? I honestly think this might have been meant to be a shirt for me. There's 2 yards of it. Print goes right over the selvage edge, so there's nothing to tell me who made it. So, but I'm pretty sure this is not from the quilt shop. So this would not be a higher price cotton. This will be a $5 a yard piece. There's 2 yards of it. It is pink elephants. It's pink elephants. Isn't that hysterical? Oh, Susan, you have no idea. My mother kept every scrap of fabric ever. I have donated so much of it over the years, and now I'm finding in the boxes that are some of the craft stuff. But there's an entire wall in the dining room. The length of the wall is a stack of fabric that's at least 4 feet high. Because she was a professional seamstress. And yeah. There will, in emptying the house, there will be a lot of fabric eventually coming. Fabric, books, all kinds of stuff. I inherited 3 estates. So there's all kinds of stuff that comes to my sales. So good night, Susan. And tomorrow you can watch the playback for the end of it and see if there's anything you really like. And everybody, don't forget to check out that drop sale that is also craft supplies and a little bit of fabric, because that sale's good till next Tuesday at midnight. And if you see it after that, you could email me and see if something is still around. Some of the craft stuff will be going on to eBay or Etsy. The fabric will probably all go on to Etsy. So here we go. What is that saying? He who dies with the most fabric wins. So 2 yards of the pink elephant is enough to make, you know, like a Hawaiian shirt kind of shirt with pink elephants all over it. Pink elephants on parade. So it is $5 a yard. Yeah, Kathy, you know, there's some really nice stuff in that drop sale. Absolutely. So the pink elephants, $5 a yard. The whole piece, there's 2 yards here. And it's number 87. Yeah, because I know when we've got a serger in the house, my serger, I don't know how to use it. I've never been able to get the tension right. I've actually loaned it to a friend when he was sewing costumes for a show for Ardent Singers. He had the thing, I think, for over a year. And then I got it back from him. Mike, when he took home ec, because he wanted to learn how to sew, they showed him how to use a serger. He knows how to thread it and use it. I have no clue. So he's used it. Now he has a modern sewing machine. I have a 1940s Singer cabinet machine that we had overhauled when I used it, but since moving back in after my father had died, it hasn't been used. So I'll have to get somebody to rehab it. When we actually get the playroom empty, sewing machines are going in there. We'll do like Mom did and use the dining room table. Is huge, and use that to cut things out. And then you walk down the hallway to where the machines are and you sew it up. Because I miss doing crafts. Now this one is a 2-yard piece. This is $5 a yard. Pretty sure this is a piece from Joann Fabrics. I probably picked it up thinking I was going to use it for the fairy dolls and didn't, because it is a really nice tiny print of, you see the little butterflies, like there's one. It's teeny little roses and poppies, and there's another butterfly. That's one over here. I like the old machines because one of the problems with the newer machines is most of the gears are made of plastic, so you can't get them fixed. The old machines, it's metal, and the motors will last forever. As long as they're cleaned and oiled every now and then, those motors will last for a long time. So I prefer. The other thing is, I learned how to sew on a 1929 or 1930. It was the first fully electric Singer that was not a converted treadle. That's what I grew up sewing on. And it had the knee bar. So I know how to do it with a knee bar. With a foot pedal, I tend to make it go too fast. I just don't have the right touch with a foot pedal. So I like mine. So here is the teeny little flowers. And then, like, here's my fingertip. There's the butterfly. And there's another one. There's another one. So they're hiding all over this. But you can see from the size of my fingers just how small a print. I mean, if you wanted to make like you could even make Barbie size clothes with this, because this print is so tiny. But I have 2 yards of it. It's $5 a yard. You can let me know what size cut you need, and it's number 40. Yeah, the hard part is finding anybody who repairs them. Joann Fabrics used to contract for people who would come and get your machine and fix it. And that's how I ended up getting mine fixed. But it's been laying closed in the cabinet for so long that I'm not sure. I'd have to find somebody. I'd probably have to do a search on the internet. I know that Jan from Antiques from Karen rehabs them, but I'm not shipping that sucker to New York. Okay. Now, this one is from 1993. It's Fabric Traditions. It's $5 a yard. You saw the other videos. Yeah, see, a lot of times the oil inside would have started to cake and solidify. Oh, okay. Julie wants 1 yard. We'll put you over here. Yeah, because last time I was in the dining room, I found my mat and I found my rotary cutter and my thing to go with the mat so that it can make a nice straight edge. And so thank you, Julie. Get you a yard of that one. So when we talked about the cow fabric and how we were going to make a quilt for my niece, well, I think Mom got this to be the backing because it is a nice, it has squares that along the lines all just say moo, and then it has all over little cow heads. Now, the reason I'm pretty sure this was meant to be the back of the fabric, the back of the quilt, is because there's 5 yards of this. The odd part is that it didn't seem like it was 45 inches wide, but it seemed like it was more. Like, it seems a little wider than usual, but there's 5 yards of this. So I'm pretty sure this was meant to be the backing for Sarah's quilt. And so it's $5 a yard, less for cuts below a yard. I'll adjust the price. And it is number 74. It's a lot of cow. A lot of cow. Okay. Now, another thing of teddy bears. Now this is not your typical cotton. It's a little heavier weight. But it is really cute. It's not quite like that green. That green was more like upholstery fabric, kind of home decorator fabric type. But this is a heavier weight cotton. Would be great for it'd be great for making a coverlet for a baby's room or curtains or. There's 2 yards and 18 inches. I'm trying to get to where I can open it up and let you see it and not drop it. So it's teddy bear clowns. So if you don't like clowns, look away now. But it's all these nice pastels on a blue background with what looks like little dots of confetti, and it's all kind of like orange, yellow, green, lavender, some blue, a little pink because one's a little girl. But it's a neat all over thing, and they're all dressed up, just having a lovely little parade. I thought they kind of looked like little clowns. I think that's what it is, but I was in such a hurry that I just didn't. I think it is 60 inches wide because I wrote down, maybe it is. I have 5 yards and then I have 30 inches, but I don't think it's 5 yards and 30 inches. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. I think it's 5 yards and 30 inches. So the teddy bear clowns. Oh, wait, no, the 5 yard 30 inches is the red cow heads. This is 2 yards and 18 inches. My brain is starting to go. This is 2 yards and 18 inches of the teddy bear clowns. It's $5 a yard. And it's number 12. $5 a yard, number 12. I noticed on Etsy that quite a few people had set up their things for this fabric, vintage cotton fabric, where they had it, somehow had it set that you could actually order the size cut and it would adjust the prices there. So I have to figure out how that works because I got a lot. All right. Now, did I not write you down? Aw, bugger all. I didn't write you down. Oh, wait, pastel? No. Pale pink. Yes, I did. There you are. You're on this page. And the flannel's on that page. Okay. So, this is, you're going to love what this was for. So, this is, it's not a canvas. Sneeze again. But it is 60 inches wide. I have 2 yards that are actual fully 60 inches. And then there's like a half yard piece at one end and I think a quarter yard piece at the other. But where it is fully 60 inches is 2 yards. And this is the fabric. Now, the story behind this fabric is that this was for a pair of stilt pants. Mom was a professional seamstress. Mom was specifically known for doing weddings and costumes. So she had a guy that was an actual, he was with, she had a couple professional clowns. We almost put that in the obituary that she sewed for clowns. And then we realized how that sounded. And we all started laughing and thought she would love that if we did that, but let's not do that. But it wasn't Ringling Brothers. There was a circus that they would do at the Shriners as a fundraiser. And, but this guy used to she had to make Uncle Sam pants. She used to have to go out in Philadelphia to get the fabric. And he found this one and really liked it. But sometimes the pattern fabrics weren't quite thick enough because you really needed like duck cloth, which is a lightweight canvas, so it's a little thicker. This is a little thinner, and she had to line these. So that's what this is from. These were his stilt pants that he would wear at Easter time. So they're 60 inches wide. There's a good solid 2 yards in there. And then there's the odd, I think there's, remember what I said about a fat quarter? Is only like one side. It's not both layers. So I've got enough for 2 fat quarters, but the 60-inch part is 2 yards wide. And this is just going to be, it's a deal. It's $5 a yard like the others. But think of the fun you could have with that. I mean, being that it's that heavier weight, it would make really good. I do see that thing about the options box. I'll have to look into that. Thank you. This really would make really good pillow covers that you could just make like throw pillows for in a teenager's room or even in your own house. I mean, it'd be fun for Easter with those colors, or just instead, because it's got the hearts, you could do it for Valentine's Day and not necessarily have to have everything red and white, and with the pastels in the background, you can keep it out till Easter. So $5 a yard, and it's number 42. But I just cracked up as soon as I saw this. I was like, oh, stilt pants. I remember that. Now, this one, what did I do with? This one is just a solid color. And I'm pretty sure it's one of the basic collection from Joanne Fabrics. And I'm going to make this one, the executive decision is I'm just going to make this $3 a yard. It is pale pink. I have 6 yards of this. Pale pink. That wonderful, like, baby pink. There is 6 yards of this. So I will gladly cut it down to what you need. But I know, like at Joann Fabrics, they used to have their standard collection of solid colors, and this is all from, like I said, this is all stuff from the 90s, and a few things from, like, some of those quilt fabrics from the quilt store were into the early 2000s, but really by 2000, somewhere between 2003 and 2005, she died in 2007. I had finally convinced her to stop buying fabric and let's start using up what we've got. Uh, but yeah, when her health went, it went very quickly. So I have this pink. I'll do it for just $3 a yard. Just let me know how much you need. I have 6 yards and 23 inches of this, and it's number 59. And honestly, I mean, if you're doing crafting stuff or stuff for somebody's had a baby girl or just a nice spring color, there's a lot there. Kathy, I know the feeling. I have some embossed velvet that I've done the same thing with because I used to make fancy looking purses, little purses. And I have some lace trims, some fancy laces, some fancy shears with embossed cut work on them. And I've just like it gets to be a smaller and smaller piece, but I still have the pieces. I mean, I've got some pieces that are only like that big, and it's enough to make a little cell phone bag, you know. So yeah, I've done the same thing. I've done the same thing. So now to the flannels. Winter is coming. So remember that other note that I said about the nightgowns? Nightgowns for Kimba, Becky, Nancy. 8 yards of this she got. I have 8 yards of this flannel. Anybody want some flannel pajamas for winter? Flannel nightgown? I do know that some people back their quilts or make duvet covers out of flannel for in the winter. Well, this is 8 yards of it. So there's a lot there to make it. And it is the older flannel. So it is not as thin as some of the stuff you're finding nowadays. I looked at flannel in Walmart and I looked and okay, yeah, I can tell there's a light behind this, but I can't see the light fixture, right? I could see Michael like 2 feet away from me through the flannel that was at Walmart. It was that thin. So this is not that. It is a nice tight thread count. So I have millinery feathers I need to get listed online and get them the hell out of here because Frodo has gone after that box. He's now smashed the box. He's actually climbed up on top of the china closet in my own bedroom and knocked stuff off of it. Thank God he didn't knock the stone fairy off the front of it because that would have busted the glass in the china closet. Trying to get to that box because he's stolen feathers out of it and they were gorgeous dyed ostrich feathers. These were from my great grandmother and my grandmother because my grandmother actually knew how to do millinery and actually had blocks. She could make her own hats. And I need to get them sold to somebody before the cats get a hold of them again because they've already ruined a couple little pieces. But yeah, I mean, millinery flowers are so hard to find. Somewhere I have a book that I bought to teach me how to make them, but I haven't done anything with them. It's on my list, right? I know the feeling. So I've got 8 yards of this red and white flannel. And the flannels are all $4 a yard. I forgot to look up the price of flannels, so I'm just gonna make it $4 a yard. And I don't know if that's low or not. So the flannel is $4 a yard, number 24 for the white, red and white. It had a little heart in each little thing. And this one was also on the list. Pink paisley, 5 yards. That's what she said. Well, there's 5 yards and 28 inches is what there is of the pink, of the pastel paisley. And again, same thing. Really nice, tight weave, high thread count, all cotton flannel. Really pretty. I'm not a fan of paisley, so what's super hard to find? The old high thread count flannel? Yeah, I mean, because all this stuff, if she was thinking she was making it for the girls and for me, this stuff is definitely from, Mike was born in 94. So this stuff's definitely from, could be anywhere between 1989, 88, 1989 up to 1999. I mean, it could have been anywhere within that 10-year period, which she got all this stuff. So there's 5 yards and 28 inches of this pastel paisley, $4 a yard. And oh, the milliner feathers, yeah, they are hard to find. I was so heartbroken that the cats got to them. Like, you rotten little. I rarely go to sleep letting them in my room, but they've learned that if they rattle the doorknob doesn't work. The house has shifted, so it doesn't actually line up. But there's a bar lock, just a little one that you just slide the bolt over and drop it down. But that doesn't line up anymore either. So I have a thin little paintbrush that I shove the handle through. Well, I don't know which one figured it out, but if I don't make sure that's shoved far enough over, they will rattle the door until the thing falls out and then the door opens. And I woke up to feathers all in my hallway. They'd gotten the box down, but he only seems to go after this one particular brown ostrich feather. Little brat. So some of them aren't hurt, but yeah, little suckers. They are hard to find, especially as feathers, if they get old, sometimes you shake them and they just disintegrate. But these have been very carefully kept for a long while. Mom never knew what to do with them. She wouldn't let me put them on eBay. Now that I found them again, I'd rather have them out when somebody can do something with them. Oh, cool. So the pastel paisley, $4 a yard, 5 yards, 28 inches is what I've got. I can cut it down to whatever you need. And it's number 55. Oh, you see this pile here, right? This is why I said there probably will absolutely not be a speed round, because I knew I had so much in sheer volume, not necessarily quantity of pieces, but sheer volume in size, that wasn't gonna happen. Now, I have this one, the last piece of fabric. This is same thing, good solid flannel. This is red and blue snowflakes. That's what I'm calling it. Red and blue snowflakes. This is 3 yards and 25 inches, $4 a yard, number 36. $4 a yard, number 36, 3 yards, 25 inches is the whole piece, and I will cut down to whatever you feel you need. And that was the last piece of fabric, because what's in here is absolutely going into my eBay store right now. Hey, Mike! Oh, so Mike, it's $4 a yard, because I'm sure you've been lurking and listening. So you let me know how much you want. If you want the whole 3 yards and 25 inches, then I'll do the math and figure it out. But if you want less than that, like if you only want a half yard cut, then the price would be lower, it'd be like $2 for a half yard. So let me know, because I'm selling it at $4 a yard, if you want the whole piece. You want all 3 yards? Do you want the 3 yards, 25 inches that it is? Or do you just want me to cut off the 25 inches? All right, let's see, Mike. Mike, I have your info, don't I? 3 yards. Mike looks for magic. I'm pretty sure I have you. It's been a while, I think. Not popping up in the archive. Why not? All right. Well, congrats, Mike. So I'll put that one down there. But I did find the Barbie fabric, and this is going to go, you'll watch for this to show up in my, I don't know about cross posted or not. I think I'll just put it in the eBay first. I found the vintage Barbie fabric. Boy, did that take some doing. I went through several boxes to find this stuff, but I did find it. So, because there's that one, there's another one. Because I actually even found Barbie flannel, which I didn't know that they made, but it is. It's actually trademark Barbie all over it. But yeah, that's right. You bought the Christmas houses. So, so that stuff is absolutely. Normally, I would try to make something out of that and sell it in the Etsy store, but with the movie having been out, the fabric is just, the price cannot be beat. I'm going to put that on eBay. And I just kept thinking, Mike's like, I wonder how many roofing shingles that Barbie fabric's going to pay for. It's like, I don't know, but we'll figure it out. So that is everything. And my apologies for anybody who's fast forward the replay of this looking for a speed round. But I mean, the box goes up to here, and then there's all this on top of it. And this is all the stuff that there's, still up for grabs. So, get it, go back, watch it change the speed to 2.0 if you need to. Watch. There's a lot of individual other craft items in the beginning, and then we do nothing but fabric going through. Once we really kick in on the fabric, it's fabric all the way through. I actually was able to give the lady who I'm helping her empty her house so she can move. We drove over there today picking up stuff to take to Goodwill for her. And oh yeah, the Barbie fabric's absolutely going on eBay as an auction. But I gave her 7 empty boxes today. I was so happy because, a week ago, none of them were empty. Some of them were the fabric. Some of them were books. So yeah, I'm so happy that I had 7 empty boxes to give her. Mind you, they'll probably come back to me full. But I hope you guys all had fun. And like I said, if you look back and decide you do want something, just let me know. Honestly, with all this fabric, this is going to be one where the price that I have it for is probably going to be good for a while. Usually I say, you know, my sales are good for 1 week, but until it gets listed onto eBay or Etsy, then I'll stand by these prices if it's because you've seen it in the replay of this. But once it's listed on eBay or Etsy, whichever platform I decide to put, because certain ones, like Barbie's doing much better on eBay than it is on Etsy right now. Certain fabrics do better on certain platforms, which is why I have an Etsy store for the craft stuff, because most of the craft supplies do far better on Etsy. But with fabric, it's all about who is the designer, what kind of fabric it is, what's on that fabric. That makes a difference on which platform. So if it's already online, I'll let you know and then send you to that. But if you see something 3 weeks from now and say, hey, I wonder if she's still got all that flannel, drop me an email, because odds are I will. We'll see. But yeah, so I hope you guys all had a good time. I did, even though you realize now I'm starting to lose the voice. How long have we been on? We got to be near the 3-hour mark, right? Yep, should have known. I'm losing my voice. I always seem to last about 3 hours and then the voice goes. So I will be for next week on Thursday will be a live chat or work with me. We'll figure something out for that. I don't know if I'll be live this weekend doing anything. I really want to get all this stuff packed up and start getting more invoices out. We had a hiccup last week that no invoices went out, and they should have. No packages went out either, and they should have. Someone who was supposed to take them for me failed at their job, so I had to, you know, pirate ship, when you print out that label, it has to be at the post office on the day the label is for. If not, what happens is you have to get a new label printed, but they don't refund the money right away. They will wait 3 or 4 days, sometimes 7 days, to refund your original postage. And August was a rough month for me on eBay and Etsy and on bills. So I didn't have any extra to cover that. So some things have sat here longer than they should have. But I'll be getting all that squared away this weekend. I'm so glad you guys had fun with this. Remember too, there is that craft/sewing drop sale that is still active until Tuesday. By next Tuesday, I will have another book sale dropping. And then after that, I don't know what the drop sales will be. But I do know I've still got to deal with those boxes that had been tilting. So there will be another book sale, drop sale coming up. And so, yeah, take a look. And if you want to have some fun, go find the video that is the trademark game. I found a Mad Libs from the 40s and this other game book, party game book from the 40s, from I think 1946. Well, one of the games in there is identify the trademark. I posted that on my Facebook page. I have had so much fun with my friends with that. Even some friends that aren't even in the area anymore, because I've heard from them, because they had a blast doing it. Because I've got friends of all different ages, and some of the older ones that are older than me, by like my sister's age, because she's 14 years older, she remembered most of them. I remembered a fair amount. Some of them, I even put it down that you can give yourself a half a point if you know what kind of company it is. Because there was one brand, I kept looking at that logo and I'm like, I don't know who it is, but I know it's paint. Well, I won't say who, because that'll give you an answer. But sure enough, it was a paint company. So I at least got it half right. So you give yourself half a point if you can at least get the company type right. But go have fun. Give yourself a laugh with that, because some of them, the logos have changed drastically. They are no longer looking like that. And I can see why with a few of them, because some of them look kind of silly. So with that in mind, have a good night. Have a great weekend. If you're on the East Coast, enjoy this weekend. It's supposed to be pretty clear from the Virginias on up. But after that, all bets are off, because there's a hurricane that's going to come flying up the coast. And we don't really know yet what that's going to do as far as wind. We're not really expected to see a lot of rain out of it, but there might be a lot of wind and weird, wacky temperature fluctuations the following weekend, which is when my Boy Scouts will be on an island in the middle of the Delaware River on Treasure Island. So I will not be with them. Not for that one. So enjoy the nice weather if you're on the East Coast. If the rest of the country, I hope you get a break, because some areas have had crazy rain. Other areas have had crazy hot. And I hope you're all getting a good break in the weather. So I'm glad you came. I'm always thankful for the purchases. Have a good weekend. Like, thumbs up, subscribe, and welcome to the new people who were here tonight. I know there were a few. I saw a few names that haven't been here before, and I hope you liked what you saw. And if you want to know how I ended up with this overstuffed house, there is a video that's usually, if you go to my channel page, it's pinned at the top, that explains some of how I got all this. Oh no, she's on her way to Maine, and that's where they think it's going to actually make landfall. Oh. How long is she going to be up there? Because if she's up there this week, because they don't think it's going to hit. The last I saw, they don't think it's going to hit Maine until like next Saturday. Like a week from now. So if she's up for now and coming home, then yeah, she might, if you're lucky, she'll get out of there on time. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. So, okay, guys. See you later. Have fun. And watch for those invoices. And I mean it this time.